Welcome to 2 Minutes of Gaming, where we talk about the top video game topics of the month for 2 minutes at a time. I'm your host, Keenan, and today I have two amazing guests. And we'll start with our regular.
Justin here at TacosandGeeks.com, Guys Universe. How's everybody doing?
And we have our special guest. Introduce yourself.
Yes, I used to be the voice of the people, but now I'm known as Des the Horror. Thank you for having me. It feels good. It just feels natural.
Feels so good, man. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, think about that. Yeah.
Well, for those who don't know, and those little bit of people that do, this is a very special show to me because in 2009 or 10. We the three of us started a podcast, which it may still be available somewhere online.
Yeah, that one's popular.
Yeah, they'll cancel us if they find it.
Yeah, cancel us, so maybe don't find it actually. But it was an honor to do a show with these guys every week. People know we do the show once a month, but we used to do that show once a week for like 2-3 hours. It was mad long. So it's a little different now. But we're going to keep it to 2 minutes, maybe 3, some topics. But nonetheless, let's start it off right at the top with DC Fandome. So they showed a lot of stuff, movies, TV shows. If you want to hear about that, check out Justin and Sean's podcast, which I want Justin to talk about a little bit later. But for this show, we're just going to talk about the game. So, guys, they showed two huge games, Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad. What's your thoughts on those, and which one were you most excited about? 2 minutes on the clock, Justin.
Gotham Knights, hands down, mainly because, one, you got to see gameplay. 2, Court of Owls have been waiting for them to make their game debut. It's one of the richest Batman stories. If you need to know more about Court of Owls, read the comics, but you can also check out the Gotham show. I think they did a good job on the Court of Owls, a little bit of it. You get to play as Batgirl. Basically all his main sidekicks, Batgirl, Red Hood, Red Robin, and Nightwing. And the gameplay looks great. It looks good on the PS4, Xbox One. Really, really excited for it. Suicide Squad didn't do nothing for me, mainly because it's a trailer. I said it before, cinematic trailers do not get me hyped. I need to see how the game is being played. So I'm going to pass it over to Des.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually. The most exciting thing was for the continuation of that Batman Arkham Knight story. I like that it's continuing from that to where you see, it's still, for me, I take it with a grain of salt, even the last game. Batman being dead, because, he's Batman. He can still be on the low, he's the world's greatest detective. But anyway, I like that they're continuing the story and letting the characters that they kind of teased us with in the last game with DLCs. That, I feel like, now we get to actually experience them more in the open world. And then the co-op mode makes it more interesting and gives the game more life. To me, that's why I'm the most excited, because it has a longer story lineage. Let's see. And Justin is right. With the teaser, you're right both times. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm sorry. The teaser, it was just a teaser, so you just take it for what it is. That's how I took even the Avengers game that we're gonna talk about later.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, I'm actually disappointed in Rocksteady because y'all been off for like how long? We went for how long? And all you show us is a couple minute trailer? Come on, I need to see some innovative gameplay. Again, we'll see it at some point, but I was like, I agree with you guys totally. Gotham Knights, I was literally jumping, watching every minute of every video, and then I'm hyped to see the Suicide Squad game, and I watched it, I'm like, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Next topic. Oh boy, this topic we literally could talk about for 2 hours, but we're not. It's actually really crazy. So for those who don't know, Apple/Google have been going at Epic a lot. Right now, as we speak, Apple and Epic are in court. It's getting really, really crazy. So as I'm just kind of give you guys a little behind the scenes for our listeners. For those who don't know, I actually have apps on the App Store. And Apple, they take 30% before they pay you. So if you buy my game right now, I don't get it. They get it. They get their cut. Then they send me a check at the end of the month. This is how it works. Epic, they didn't like that. So they tried to circumvent Apple's system, and they wanted to get the direct payments for Fortnite from the players, skip Apple, and go right to Epic. Apple found out. Not only did they remove Fortnite from the App Store, but they removed everything Epic, which includes the Unreal Engine. So this is huge because, if you're a developer and you're using the Unreal Engine, you can't even provide your players with updates on Apple devices. It's completely gone. Apple has won the first round in court. The judge actually agreed with them, but forget the courts. What do you guys think? Justin, you can start it off.
I mean, Apple is in the right on this one, and mainly because it's kind of like a backhanded deal they were trying to do at Epic. It's just like, you come to me, we're going to put our stuff on Apple, but, we're going to take our share first, and then, Apple will get, but for me, it's kind of feels like a backhanded deal. What I would say is messed up is removing the Unreal Engine, because I know for a fact a lot of developers use Apple for some of their stuff to develop these games. So if they don't have that engine, if they can't update, then you're hurting the customers there. I mean, the least thing you can do is at least keep the Unreal Engine there. But for me, I think Apple's in the right to take them to court for this. It's just like, this is our platform. You have to abide by our rules that we set in for you. I mean, if you don't like it, you have your Epic Game Store. So you just don't put things on Apple. That's it. That's how I feel. Yes, so are you.
Yeah, I don't remember too much details, but I did look into the matter a little bit. It was a strategic move that Epic took against Apple because they take that 30% and they wanted to show customers. They basically was seeing they wanted to make sure that Apple was a hill in this story. This is what they did. They wanted to make sure, like, we're gonna make sure they're the bad guy here because they're charging the extra 30%, and Epic did it deliberately. They knew they were breaking the clause. They did it deliberately so they could show that the customer that we can charge this price. It's Apple that's jumping that price, not Epic themselves, by all those surcharges and taxes because people are stuck in the ecosystem. So this is where the big debate is going to go from. They're letting the fans, basically, of their brand devote this, try to decide this decision. That's what it's going to lie down to, which is the people.
Yeah, and I just want to remind everyone, I mean, both of you guys make great points, but I just want to remind people online, people are looking at Epic like some kind of underdog, like, oh man, we feel sorry, like they're routing. Let me just be clear. Like, Apple is worth $2 trillion, which they recently announced, but let's not understand Epic. Epic is worth billions. I think it was last evaluated at like 17 billion would it be? So this is not some little mom and pop shop that's Apple suing. Okay, so like let's be clear. They're both beasts, and they both want more. Apple wants to be 3 trillion, and Epic wants to be 20 billion. Cry me a river. So, next topic. All right. There's a lot of rumors about a new Switch system. Things been leaking out from, I think it was a Chinese website initially, and then Bloomberg actually backed up that claim, saying that there will be a new Switch in 2021. We're not sure if it's going to be a completely new system or if it's just going to be like a Switch Pro, 4K. We're not sure. So, what's you guys' thoughts on the direction that they could go, and is this good news?
For me, I think it's going to just be a more of an enhanced system, something like a Pro, like a 4K, which is kind of crazy because the Switch graphics is not really up there, to really see. A lot of the games are still sometimes PS3 territory, PS4 territory, a little bit of scratching the surface on PS4. But it probably be more faster speed, just like little enhancements from here and there. I kind of, like you said, probably be something more like a 3D, what did it then? Was it the 3D XS? What was it? The 3DS XL, something like that. I'm not really skeptical. I think it's just going to be more of an enhancement for 4K. We'll have to see. Is it a good move? Yeah, I mean, if you want your Switch to play in the highest resolution possible, why not?
Okay, so it's like so just my circumstance of just thinking about it, I don't actually own a Switch yet, you know? So for me, it's a little bit exciting because now it's like, oh, look, I didn't waste my time not getting a Switch. I have a new opportunity to buy the newest and greatest. But then also as a businessman myself, I'm thinking, oh, if I was a part of the Nintendo company, yeah, the market of new systems coming out is right around the corner. Let me throw my hand in there. Why not? Let's debate about this. You are right though about the graphics, but Nintendo the last, more than 5 years has been more about the gameplay and been more about remember fun. That's what they've been about. So I don't know. It's decided for me. So it depends on the consumer.
As long as the games are still good, I don't really care what they do.
But here's
See?
what I'll say. Like, I mean, both of you guys, like I said, again, make great points. The one thing I'll say is I'm hoping it's not like because like you said, Justin, they did the 3DS XL and all that stuff. That was fine. But when they came out with the new, quote unquote, new 3DS, where only certain games were compatible with the new 3DS and wasn't compatible with the old 3DS, that pissed me off because it was like, it's confusing for consumers. And then also for me, I felt like my old 3DS was obsolete now. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So as long as they don't say, like, for instance, hey, the new Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is only for the new Switch, that would piss me off. But if it played better on the new Switch, I'm okay with that. Spider-Man. So Marvel Avengers is set to release pretty soon. It's in the news for a lot of reasons, but the reason we're going to focus on today is Spider-Man. But feel free to talk about the other reasons. Spider-Man missing from the Xbox version. Is this a big deal, Justin, or does it even matter?
Yeah, it does matter because, granted, look, I'm PlayStation all the way to the end, but even I can say that this is unfair. Um, that means Sony has a monopoly on Spider-Man. Clearly, we've seen that when they try to take him away from Disney, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But yeah, it kind of sucks because that means half of the audience or whoever has the Xbox are not going to get the full core experience. Your experience is going to be way different than mine. And if this game is going on every console, then give everybody the game. Now, some might comment like, but Soul Calibur did it differently when you had this person, Zelda, you had Link on the GameCube, and this person. That was a time when the console war was at its peak. I mean, at this point in time, we're all about cross-play. We're all about, everybody getting everything at the same time. And I think a lot of gamers want that. So, yeah, it's a business move by Sony to try to get more PlayStation 5 sales, point blank, or PlayStation 4 sales, point blank. You want to play Spider-Man in the Avengers on this midi-core Avengers game, because I played the beta, it's complete. I'll go in on that later. But you want to play Spider-Man in this midi-core game? Get a PlayStation. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you again. You know, as consumer wise, I feel like it's not a smart decision because then it leaves a bitter taste if I have only an Xbox, so where it's just like, oh, you don't really care that much about, you know, my investment, you know. But on PlayStation, you get that extra character. I can see from their perspective as well. It's just like, okay, we might not get as much sales if people want to have that feeling towards them not having Spider-Man, but we're also increasing our like our market, on PlayStation. So I agree with you, Justin. I basically just agree.
Yeah, and Justin, I want to say props to you because the Soul Calibur example is perfect, and I think
Hmm.
that big issue that I have is that when you look at that Soul Calibur example back then, if I remember correctly, each of the consoles had like some kind of character exclusive, which
Yeah,
made it kind of cool, and it made it kind of even as well, right?
yeah.
If PlayStation had like, okay, we got Spider-Man, there's really not an equivalent to Spider-Man, but if you said, okay, PlayStation has Spider-Man, but they don't have Thor or Captain America or whoever, like somebody else, then maybe you can argue a little bit. But the fact that like they're just getting a lesser experience, I think it's wrong. And Sony needs to really chill with that because I felt like they tried to do that with Nintendo with Ultimate Alliance, but they got him. Spider-Man is in Ultimate Alliance 3, which was great. And then he helped the game. So they need to just chill out, let him go. Last full topic of the day, Resident Evil news just came out again. Not about the game, but there's going to be a TV show on Netflix. For those who don't know and haven't heard, it's going to feature Adam Wesker's daughters in 2 different timelines. First timeline being right before everything, goes crazy. And then she's kind of investigating, finding out who her father really is. And then the second timeline will be, I think it's like 30 years after everything gets crazy. So, what's your thoughts on this, Justin? Is this a good move or what?
No. Just stop trying to live action Resident Evil already. Just enough. Like, haven't we learned from the movies that it doesn't really work? And if it does work, I will eat my words, okay? Oh, God, I'm just so tired of these video game adaptations, man. It's just like, I mean, will it be good? I mean, Wesker had many children according to expanded lore, like children that he like experimented on and everything else, and they call them the Wesker kids. Is it so hard just to have the main characters and just go by the games, or at least side characters like you can explore Kenneth before he died in Resident Evil 1, or tell us the story what happened to Billy, like the official canon of what happened to Billy, because Lord knows where he's been. So, or do another Sherry story, like there's so much things and potential they could have done. For me, it just doesn't really sound appealing to me. I'm hoping it'll be scary. At least, hopefully, they'll have some really cool horror elements, but I don't have faith in this.
Oh man, I don't know. Maybe because of the way the world is, I felt like I was a little bit excited for it. I wasn't thinking about the movies when I thought about it though. I thought about it. I thought Netflix. I thought like the Witcher game. I was thinking more game based, to the story, and maybe it could possibly work. The excitement of it could possibly work, and creators and writers have a new story that they could have more control over without having to follow a already made connotation of it. Could bring new life to the Resident Evil story to begin with. I don't know. There's possibilities that could happen from this.
Yeah, I think Justin, I mean, you make a great point. Listen, we all want to know what happened to Billy, right? I mean,
for real.
I can't argue with that. But what I will say, I'm with Mendez, man. I'm actually hyped for this because I think, Wesker has a son, but that game was so bad, we just want to forget about that. So let's focus on the daughters, and let's look at, people can argue with me, but I think Resident Evil has a better story than most, not all, but most RPGs. That story, if you really understand the Resident Evil story from 0 to 7, and then all the side stories and side games, it is actually a really, really good story. And I stopped watching The Walking Dead, so I'm yearning for a zombie show, to binge on, to watch. So I'm all in, Justin.
Black Summer, bro.
Huh?
Black Summer on Netflix. Watch that.
I seen Black Summer. It was good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I seen it too.
Yeah, I need something
I
new.
enjoyed it. But we need more.
I'm gonna watch like the first 4 episodes. If it's garbage, I'll stop. But we'll talk about it on the show. But I'm all in, man. I'm all in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. For those who are new to watching the show, last round is our freestyle round. So we're gonna open it up to our guests. You guys can talk about whatever you want. I mean, there's 2 minutes, but feel free to just rant and do what you want. This is Dan.
First, I just want to say, since the recent release of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, where in the world is our Final Fantasy VI remake, or at least a remaster with updated graphics? Like, who asked for Crystal Chronicles? Like, that's the most... That game didn't even get decent... That game was, like, mid-core at best on the GameCube. Why was there such a high demand for this? I don't understand that. There's so many other Final Fantasy games. you could have done. You could have gave us I mean, that's been re-released to death, Tactics, but you could have did a remake of Tactics with some really nice graphics and make it like a Dark Souls type of thing. I mean, there's so much things they could have done besides Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. On a non-gaming note, definitely wanted to say rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Brilliant actor. I mean, most people know him from Black Panther, but me, I was introduced to him from 42. Get on up. I mean, I followed his career after watching 42, and just wanted to say rest in peace. That was just knowing his story, that the man was filming while battling cancer and doing surgeries and chemo. Is just, dude, respect for that. Definitely.
Yeah, man, the biggest moments of his life, he was that put him on, into mainstream eyes. He's fighting the biggest battle of his life. And that's why, I also talked to my brother about this, about just keep going on. Like, you got to keep going on, man.
Mm-hmm.
You just never stop, never give up. Even if you're like, even in times like this, you just got to keep pushing through, because you don't know. Don't allow yourself to have the answer no by giving up.
Yeah. Mendez, before we go, what have you been playing? Anything good?
I've been playing, I play Gears because, I like a little toxic gameplay, playing Gears Online.
Okay, that's fine.
I like it. Makes me angry. And I actually went back. I'm all over the place, man. I've been playing, emulators, and I also went back to Skyrim randomly because I don't know, nostalgia purposes.
I did too.
You did too? What the heck?
Yeah, I was playing because I got it on sale for the PS5. It was like $10. I mean PS5 for the PS4 for like $10.
Yeah.
I got Skyrim 5, and I just started playing. I was just like, yo, I could do so much stuff. I'm with the Dark Brotherhood, and I already just like completed most of the missions.
Yeah, see, I'm doing that right now too. That's crazy.
Wow.
That's nostalgia.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, a lot of good sales out there, man. I mean, there's no excuse for somebody to not be going on a game, and there's so many summer sales. But I want to talk more about a new release real quick. Just my little mini rant about Madden. It's funny. I was at a friend's house who they were actually, Mendez, you were there when I was playing, Justin. I was like a serious Madden player. Like, I would fight you. Like, if we, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's serious. And I stopped playing. So I went to one of my friends out here. I went to his house, and he was like, yo, bro, we're going to rematch. Let's play again. I'm like, yo, I don't play Madden no more. He was like, why not? And I'm like, yo, this game is the same garbage game every year. And he's like, nah, well, 2K is the same, blah, blah. And I was like, listen, here's the difference. 2K is a great game. It's the same game, but it's the same great game every year. You can get tired of it, but it's the same game, but it's a great game. Madden is just so bad. We talking about frame rate issues. Dude, the rain. I mean, NFL 2K on Dreamcast had better rain. Like, Madden has so many issues. And finally, I've been screaming about Madden being a repetitively bad game for the last, 5 years. People have been ignoring me. IGN, GameStop, all these people have been giving it 9s, 10s, 8s all year. Finally, people have finally woke up and smelled the coffee and realized that this is trash. EA needs to be better. Okay, Madden, if you haven't seen the scores, has been getting 6, 5s, 4s, and everything that they're saying, because I watched the most recent review from IGN, it's the same thing I've been saying. It's so sad that these guys, as a developer, I can tell you, when you're going to remake something or use the same asset or something like that, you want to tweak it and make it look different. The franchise mode they said it's exactly the same, and even with the overlays, with the coach sitting there and everything, these dudes literally just changed the text. Like, it is unbelievably
Oh my goodness.
And listen, I love football. I watch football every Sunday. I can't wait for it to come back. But people, please stop buying this game. If you say, Keenan, I can't live without my Madden. Okay, I get it. I used to be like that too. Wait till Thanksgiving when it goes on sale for Black Friday like it does every year for $30. So, not buy it new. Just wait, because all you're doing is hurting the game more and more. EA doesn't care about no review scores. All EA cares about is sales, which they show to the NFL. which leads to them getting the contract renewed and ignoring 2K.
Which they did.
Which again, I'm not trying to say whether NFL 2K or Madden was better or whatever, but it's good to have competition so they can both fight each other and then make great games like we did in 2004, I think it was, when Madden 2005, with Ray Lewis on the cover, and NFL 2K5, I think, had Terrell Owens on the cover. When those two games came out, they were so different, but they were the best football games we've ever seen in our life. So, I'm done. Thank you guys for
how you really feel.
That was a mini rant, by the way. It wasn't a full thing.
Was mini? Oh, sweat.
So I want to say thank you everybody for listening. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch the show. Before we go, you guys have any last words?
Yeah, since you alluded to the other show, Tacos and Geeks should be either today. I think it's going to be today, or in time of this recording, it will be today or tomorrow. We are going to launch a new podcast called Justice vs. Sean, which is basically going to be me debating one of ONG's members, Sean, and basically going back and forth on Marvel versus DC, comics, anime, and sometimes gaming as well. And sometimes it's going to be pop culture references. We already filmed 2 episodes. They're going to be released back to back. The second episode is going to be full on DC Fandome, our coverage on that. So stay tuned for that on the tacosandgeeks.com and our YouTube channel, Tacos and Geeks. And that's pretty much it. And you can follow me on Instagram at Gaius Universe. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to pass it over to Des.
Got you. Yes, you can follow me on Des Zahar on Instagram. Everything else from there, you'll get the links from there. Yeah, that's about it for now. You know, I got more coming soon, but I can't say nothing. I can't.
I appreciate you guys. Until next time.
Yes, thanks for having me.
All right, peace.